Thank you for coming back inside. I know it's a feat. Just for your information, I'm putting a timer on here. 7 minutes. I'm an art curator, so my background is not in architecture, but my practice as a curator involves architectural theory and working with architects. And I've been following the work of future architecture for a while, and that's why I reached out to them. Because I'm one of the curators of School of Waters, which is the concept of this year's Biennial, Méditerranée 19. And the Biennial itself has been going on since 1985, first opened in Barcelona, and then officially established in Sarajevo in 2001. So it's thanks to BJCEM, that I'm actually here, and the Biennale itself is the body that is organizing the School of Waters in San Marino in October. And among the activities of the BJCM is not only a Biennale, but also workshops throughout the year, seminars, education opportunities for artists, performances, and so on and so forth. And I'd like to pass the microphone right now briefly to Jernej, who is the project manager of Škuc, who is the Slovenian member of BJCM.
Hello everybody, so I'm Jernej from Škuc Association in Ljubljana. I will just tell a few words about BJCM and how we have, how Slovenian we have participated from the beginning. Since 1985, our association has been participating in this Biennale, and I must say that what I would like to say is that this Biennale is an opportunity for young artists. Mostly it's a first international opportunity for young artists to visit an event on a larger scale. Also, it's an event that brings all the cultures in the Mediterranean together. So it's a really, yeah, I mean, for me, I have been working for the Biennale since 2009. It has been a wonderful exploration of all the cultures in the Biennale, in the Mediterranean, and especially bringing the artists, all the artists, young artists from the Mediterranean together for 5 days or more, where they can meet and exchange ideas. It's a time, it's a really precious time. I'm really looking forward to our new curators and seeing how their idea will manifest in San Marino.
So the opening days are 5 days, but the Biennale will begin on October 23rd and end in February. This year's curatorial team, which I'm part of, along with another 8 curators, was actually initially a school of sorts. It's called A Natural Oasis and was founded by 2 head curators, Simone Frangi and Alessandro Castiglioni, that were looking for curators and researchers that were interested in studying cultural and art production in geographically marginal cities or countries that are not usually associated with art epicenters like London or Berlin and so on and so forth. So this is the team in our power stance. Curators from Cyprus, Italy, and Greece, which is an interesting mix because several of us have also lived in the UK or in France or have worked extensively in North African countries. And the program of A Natural Oasis started off with a visit to Manifesta in Palermo in 2018. Yeah, just there. No. Go up. Yep. And basically our purpose was to study the ways that large international biennales behave or expand or engage and sustainably engage, rather, with the cities that they're being hosted at. Because Palermo and Nottingham and Limassol are not the epicenters of the art world. And with that in mind, we developed the curatorial concept of the Biennale, which is called School of Waters. And now you can scroll down. And because it's the Biennale of the Mediterranean in Europe, we are looking at the body of water that is at the epicenter of it all, and thinking about how identities are created through the borders of the Mediterranean and the limitations to the identities that are created, and the prejudices that we've developed over the years, regardless of our shared culture or shared language. So the idea is also to engage more North African countries or countries that haven't been represented enough in other biennales, because as a school or as a group of people, we're also critically engaging with the Biennale as a structure, and how we can think about a Biennale as a more sustainable entity rather than a UFO landing on a patch of land and not really engaging with the local agents. This year, as I said before, the Biennale will be in San Marino. For those of you who don't know, or maybe know, it's an individual state landlocked in Italy. And it has a very interesting history and a very long history, actually, because it's one of the first republics of Europe. It was founded in 300 AD by a stonemason. And it was built on top of a hill, and therefore let's say the logo or the symbol of San Marino are the three towers. I'd just like to say here that when we arrived for the first 2 days, there was tremendous fog. Oh. Should I stop? Okay, I'll whiz through it. And we weren't able to see beyond 5 meters. And that really allowed us to look inwards to San Marino and consider how, as curators, we can develop an exhibition that engages with small spaces around a hill rather than a huge space on top of a mountain, and because we don't have that space. And this is why, from the usual 300 artist participants, we've cut it down to 75. Because, first of all, we want to expand our connection and communication with each artist. We want to make an exhibition that is relatable and also doable for the visitors and the locals. We are aware that 70 people live on the peak of San Marino, so we're going to be conducting workshops with them and understanding how they want the Biennale how they want to participate in the Biennial. And recently we went to San Marino to begin location scouting. So as I've said before, we have to work with small spaces dispersed around San Marino, from gardens outside where performances will be held, for example, in the university, this is behind the University of Design, to within the University of Design. This is a beautiful little chapel that actually was imagined as the initial National Gallery of San Marino. And every cloister would be an exhibition room. That project was scrapped, and they developed a bigger museum, or let's say a unified space to host the contemporary art collection. But this is something that we want to work with and also respect the existing spaces rather than create new ones. We're also, of course, because we're looking at water and the ways that water both creates community and creates certain economies as well. We're thinking of installing sound pieces within the reservoir under the main plaza. Then we're also thinking of doing another sound piece or a performance perhaps in the railway tunnels that were actually a very important part of the history of San Marino in World War II, which remained neutral for that time. So there's several layers of history that we want to approach carefully but in depth. Then there's also cinemas in San Marino that we want to show films, artist films, and invite the locals to come and watch them with us. This is the tower, the main tower, which also has an interesting history because it was renovated during the fascist regime. So elements of it are actually quite clearly architectures of shame. And I'm wrapping it up now. So I hope to see you there if you're interested in exploring San Marino and the next Biennale of Young Artists. Thank you.